What's good? This is y'all Kobe Issachar, creating my productions, coinciding in conjunction with HarmonicSalesBeats.com. Hope all is well. Hope everybody's staying efficient, staying focused, examining the present condition, situation, circumstance, moving forward, maintaining your health, giving the body the nutrients it needs to sustain life. So today, for a change, we're going to be identifying a subject matter which a lot it's gonna offend probably, but I don't know. It's very simple. How lust and covetousness hinder growth. Yes, I said it. It is what it is. We're gonna be identifying specifically why lust and covetousness prevent growth, man. Okay, so that's what we're gonna be identifying today here at Creating My Productions. And why I'm going over this, like I told you, we're here to create value. We're here to create content to help benefit you understand the processes of growth in this music industry as a student, as a producer, as a artist, as a business owner, as a man or a woman in general, in this sense in life. Because when it comes to lust and covetousness, this stuff really hinders growth, man. And I'm speaking to you in shame. I'm speaking to you from past tense, and now in present tense. I know what I must do not to put myself in this position no more, you know? Because growing up, when you don't have things, you tend to want things others have. You see what I'm saying? Growing up and struggling in poverty, you crave what other people have. So that's why, I mean, I'm not telling you something I do not know. This is information and a reality base in which I've lived for many years now. So without further ado, let's get to it, man. So as of today, we're going to be identifying how lust and covetousness hinder growth. Now, first we must identify what lust is. First things first, lust, a passionate desire for something. So lust, it could actually be a good thing, not only bad. You know what I'm saying? Say, I lust for growth. I lust for perfectiveness in my production. I lust for new studio equipment. I lust for better health. You know what I'm saying? But there's another type of lust which we must identify. So the lust that we're going to be identifying today through the synonym is desire. So we desire things, so that's what I mean. We lust after things. Now, longing, we long for things, you know what I'm saying? Now, passion, we have passion for things, you know what I'm saying? Just like, and we also have a sex drive. Now, that goes towards a sexual outlook on lust. So sexuality, lasciviousness, greed, coveting, eagerness, yearning, hunger, thirst, and appetite. Now, I'm gonna look at two. We're gonna be identifying two focuses here today. We're gonna be looking at the basic understanding of lust and covetousness, how it applies to your life, and we're gonna be looking at how and its conduction and what's going on here, because a lot, they want things that they can't have. They take things that don't belong to them. They put themselves in positions where they're benefiting off somebody else. So that's why we must understand how lust and covetousness is actually a very big hindrance in our growth. So watch this. Now, I'm going to stress on the sexual for a moment. You might put yourself in a position where you're lusting after a woman lusting after a man. Might be imagery, might be a woman walking down the street, might be a man working out down the block, you know what I'm saying? And your mind is primarily focused on pleasing that, basically preventing and stopping everything you're doing just to fulfill that lust thereof. So watch this. Covet. Now this leads me to covet, which means long to possess something belonging to somebody else. Let me restate that. Long to possess something belonging to someone or somebody else's. Meaning it does not belong to you. You want something that does not belong to you. And this coincides with the lust, because sometimes we want the new car, we want that Benz, we want that BMW, we want that Phantom, we want that Rolex watch, we want that 140-pound workout woman, you know what I'm saying? And these women want that 200-pound all mean muscle man, you know what I'm saying? You want these things, but you don't have it. Why? Because you lust and you covet. You idolize these things. You see what I'm saying? And we're going to be putting some emphasis on this today. And you might have some of these things, but guess what? It's either you're coveting or idolizing these things, somebody else is taking it from you, or the price you pay is a very hefty one. So watch this. So covetousness, which covetousness stems from the word covet, long to possess something belonging to somebody else. So lusting after something that does not belong to you. So when we look at the synonyms, desire, crave, your heart set on, and your heart, I can't stress this enough. Your heart is set upon these things. So if your mind is fixated on pleasing a specific lust, you're not gonna stop until you have fulfilled that. Meaning you're gonna prevent growth wherever you're aiming towards. Whatever you're doing, you're gonna stop that just to fulfill this lust. And it does not only apply sexually, it also applies to your day-to-day conduction. You see what I'm saying? Your activities. You see what I'm saying? So watch this. Your heart set upon, longing for, harker after, hunger after, thirst for. So when you lust, you crave. You see what I'm saying? You're eager, you thirst, you hunger. Now when you covet, you want something that does not belong to you. Now we must look at in the sense, when we focus primarily on these subjects, we prevent time and focus on things such as our health, family, self, finances, relationships, business, knowledge, communication, focus, time, responsibility, accountability, organization, and reputation. Now, why I'm bringing this to your attention is very simple. These are things that we don't pay attention to when we're fulfilling our lust, when we're coveting after specific things that we don't have or do have, and we're still coveting after these things. So watch this. Now, things that we could covet money, we could covet materialistic things, we could covet women, we could covet men, we could covet sex, we could covet imagery, we could covet pleasure, we could covet drugs, we could covet social status, etc., etc. Now the list goes on. Now for everybody meets its own. You know, other people come from different walks in life, raised under different principles and morals and levels of conduction, and that's why they conduct themselves the way they do. You know what I'm saying? And to them it might be right. There's nothing wrong with what they do, and to another that's completely wrong. And that's why I'm telling you right now, when it comes to covetousness and lasciviousness, the definition explains itself. So that's why this is just the definition breakdown. Now we're gonna see how this applies to us, to man and woman. Okay, so how do we covet? Why do we covet? You know what I'm saying? Where do we covet? When do we covet? You know what I'm saying? That's a great question. Now when we look at lust and covet, how do we do these things? We want because we don't have. Now watch this. We crave because it looks appeasing. Okay? We lust because of our lack and want. Now, we want to take from others because we covet. Now, we covet because we don't take the action steps to obtain what others have that we covet, and because of our inconsistencies, and as well as our lack of understanding, we will do just about anything to get what others have. And because of our inconsistency as well. Now, we must look at why. Why do we do these things? Why would you want what others have when you don't even have the price or the wherewithal to obtain this? Now, I want to restate what I just stated because it's multifaceted. Why would you want what others have when you don't even know the price that they're paying for what they had? You see what I'm saying? So before you try to put yourself in somebody else's position or shoes, examine the cost. What are they paying for it? You don't know what they're paying for it. It's not always money. You see what I'm saying? It might be their soul. It might be their existence. It might be their life. It's primarily fixated on paying this. So watch this. Because we don't have. And that's why we covet. That's why we want things that other people have. That's why we want that new job. That's why we want the new Benz. That's why we want the new production equipment. That's why we want this new beautiful woman, this gorgeous man. You see what I'm saying? We want these things, but we don't have. Why? Let's identify. We don't have because we apply not the actionary steps to obtain that which we seek, and covet and not take it from others. We want to take it from others, or what we don't have, or the things that we do have, we don't have. So let me reiterate this again, that way you have a better understanding. Why not? Because we don't apply the actionary steps to obtain that which we seek, and we covet and not have which others have already, or what we think is precious, or what we think we want to have. We don't even know the price to pay for it. And that's why I'm telling you right now, we must understand the actionary steps to actually attain what we're seeking for. We need to know what we're reaching for in the first place. We must identify, you know what I'm saying? We must identify and examine specifically what it's going to cost to get it. What are the action steps that I must take to obtain this in which I seek, opposed from lusting after these things, idolizing these things, and coveting what other people's have. And that's why a lot of people steal. That's why a lot of people kill. And that's why a lot of people put themselves in positions that are hard to get out of, because they don't know how to conduct themselves. They idolize specific things. They idolize these things. Now, these are materialistic things. We must remind ourselves. A lot of these things are opposed from men and women. Can't breathe, can't see, can't smell, can't touch, can't hear, can't feel, don't know. But yet, we tend to put more emphasis on inanimate objects opposed to living organisms. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. And that's why I'm telling you right now, you know, fresh early in the morning, you know what I'm saying? That at the end of the day, if you want to idolize something and put it before your growth, put it before the Most High, put it before what's really happening right now, not only are you going to hinder growth, but you might find yourself in a position where you're not going to obtain what you're coveting, where you're not going to obtain what you're lusting after, because you're putting yourself in a position where you're spending so much time and emphasis lusting after these things, but yet you're not taking the actionary steps to obtain it. So watch this. Work for it, man, to obtain it. Do not idolize it, though, because if you idolize it, what happens when it's deprived and taken from you? What then? So that's why we must examine what we're doing. So focus on what needs to be done. That's the conclusion of this whole video today. We must focus on what needs to be done. Not what needs to be looked upon, not what needs to be examined upon, not what needs to be felt upon. We must act, we must do what it takes to obtain what we're seeking. Focus on what needs to be done. So not only focus on yourself, but don't idolize yourself or material or others, because you might not get what you seek for. You're spending so much time idolizing these things, making it a god, but yet you're not even taking the actionary steps to obtain it. And if you're not obtaining it, maybe it's for your benefit, because if you obtain it, it might be to your destruction. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we must understand our present position, understand what we must do, and do it. And stop letting our carnal mind and our lust and our covetousness dictate the way we conduct ourselves, man. And this is a battle. This is a fight. You have to fight these demons. These are demons, man. You know what I'm saying? The mind is wicked, man. So that's why I'm telling you right now, you have to stay focused on what you got to do, okay? Don't let these lust and covetous impulses affect your level of conduction on what needs to be done. So go about the actionary steps. Take what I'm telling you in consideration. I hope so. I hope so. Because what we're doing here at Creative Mind Productions, we're actually identifying specific things that a lot don't want to touch upon because it's of no importance. But it's important here because we examine these things. So with that being said, this is Yaakov Ben Issachar, Creative Mind Productions. You already know. If you do not know Action Performance, receive the ebook in stores now. Click that link below for your personal growth and development. 52-page ebook, man. Going through the acronym, which is the manuscript to define strategic work ethic for your personal growth and development. So with that being said, this is your boy, Yaakov Ben Issachar, Creative Mind Productions. Stay healthy, stay focused. You know what I'm saying?